So everyone, we have Nomad as the first map, and my initial guess would be that this is German Potatoes' home map pick, simply because they're up against a much stronger team, or most teams are stronger elo-wise than the German Potatoes in top section. So I'm just assuming they are going with Nomad for this one. So they're flaring their TC locations now, looking pretty decent for both Phoenix and Tuyo here. He has woodland, he has gold, he has stone, he has everything he needs around here, even has a boar for food access. Vikings, they have cheaper docks as well, have a bit of an easier time to get to the fish boom to start with. So that's 2-0 for this one. Let's look at the other players' locations as well. We have Phoenix over here in the north-ish, dropping a TC right here, so found the woodland as well, of course. And then finally for Dom, he is dropping a house, going to drop a dock in the north here, I believe. And TC also in the north, so the locations of German Potatoes here not necessarily bad at all. They are covering, I mean, they'll have a hard time helping each other out because their locations are a bit far apart, but they're covering a lot of the map as well, could in this way assume quite a bit of map control. We have Meisel all the way to the left here. That's pretty bad news, actually. Even though he has wood and gold, he'll be so far away from, for example, Hunting X over here with the Spanish, who now has this TC up and some sheep doing work for him. We have Docks going up as well. Phoenix with the Persians, Tuyo with the Vikings, and Dom with the Malians. They're not fooling around here. They're playing the absolute strongest Nomad Sims of all, with the Persians and Malians for an early eco lead, and finally Vikings. So they're spending lots of good Sims here, aiming for water control and maybe some strong land presence with the mobility of Persians and Malians as well. I think the play here would be have Vikings aiming to control water to keep their fish boom safe, and then to contest the Druzhina on land with your superior mobility and your superior strong cavalry with Persians and Malians. So it's just going to catch up with live here with a bit of fast forward, and shouldn't be too far away. I'll look a bit at the scouting of everyone here as well. Dom here in the north has a cow to scout, finds a grey house, might, well, probably already knows the location of his teammate. Let's look at Phoenix's scouting here. Lots of cows, good news, but not really using them extensively for scouting purposes here. But that food source is not to be ignored here, and even with the boar right close here, should be looking like a good early feudal age for Persians here for whatever follow-up they may be planning. And yeah, there's Dom, who's the last player. There's the Vikings player. I'm trying to find blue here. Tuyo down here with gold right next to TC. That's great for the early water challenging, and the dock is already up in the north here with a shore fisher and some fishing ships out. We see an overall villager lead for German Potatoes here, given that both Malians and Persians can drop the first fishing ship right away. Now for the other team, JCP Kill is here in the south with the dock, literally next door neighbor to Tuyo here, but not dock-wise, so he's pretty alone down here in terms of water control. Hunting X with the dock over here, now dropping a house with the gathering villager, and will keep shore fishing after. Meisel to this side. Didn't Meisel dock at all here yet? He's Koreans, so he might be thinking about some tower shenanigans, but that's not too easy with Koreans. Meisel actually didn't dock at... Oh, he docked the middle here. Okay, so that's pretty safe from enemy aggression, but it's also... yeah, it has some decent access to deep fish area. So that's a decent dock. Almost looked like a pond at first, but it's not. It's connected to the water, so Meisel could help out on water as well. See a little bit of flaring in the middle here. Might be flaring food access here with the boars, or simply that Phoenix might be close here. JCP with the TC to the far east here. The Hunting X not too far away. We have Spanish and Japanese here. Japanese also a strong water sim. It's very difficult to take out Japanese fish because they have some extra armor and double the HP of the regular fishing ships, generic fishing ships. But map control wise, I already like German Potatoes' position. Taken gold stones of wood here. taking wood and gold access over here, has lots of access to the stones of gold around there. I mean, Phoenix in the middle of everything, still if he gets pushed by towers or whatever early aggression here, he still has such an easy time extending to the stones and golds to save his production. And you don't easily take him off wood here with 3 woodlands right next to the TC. And finally to the north here, D-Boy getting pretty much of the map for himself up north here. Should make for a good Malians move, boom, moving on here. So population is increasing here. Phoenix with the superior lead with Persians here. Let's look at his TC. He should be going feudal soon though, because with Persians faster working docks and fishing ships from feudal age onwards, you really want to get full advantage of that. But from the looks of it, Phoenix is aiming for a straight fast castle here, dropping the second building needed to click up now, and will be investing into gold shortly, I'd assume. Feudal Age is on the way for JCP kill. He's with 3 on gold over here, and has his dock mainly down here with quite a few fish, admittedly, doing work. D-Boy with a wall up here wants to secure his area up north, also going to gold, so I think we'll see the Malians contesting water here as well. They're flaring their dock positions, they're extending, and yeah, seem to be wanting to control water early on here. So the only downside for German potatoes here is the actual distance to Mysel's Hunting X and JTP Kill's docks. They will have to scout on water in order to find the enemy locations, and let's see if either of them are doing exactly this. Not really. Alright, but again, overall villager count, the civs are paying off for German potatoes here, although later up to the next stage might not be too much of an issue if they can pull off fast castling here. Toyo is sort of restricting a lot of the map access of himself by walling like he does here, but if I can pull off the fast castle with Vikings and take some water control more easily, it's going to be worth it for sure. Phoenix seems to have endless sources of food here. I'm going to toggle his point of view for a while. It's just 100 gold shy of the cast age click now, and Meisel is just on the way to the feudal age with his 32 pop here. He is yeah, pretty much cramped up in the corner. I mean, Koreans aren't that mobile of a civilization either. I mean, it's going to the stones here, so I think Meisel hopes to tower an enemy here, but his closest enemy is Tuyo and is all the way over here, so must be thinking about the fast castle war wagons instead and get the castle up to get war wagons at that kind of mobility in. There is a crossing up here, but that could be walled by a D-Boy in the event of aggression from the left hand side here. Castle Age on the way for Hunting X is actually the first one to go up here with his 29 pop. I think he's going to play the mobility of Spanish here. He's very heavily on stone now, going to drop that castle and get those conquistadors out for the Spanish. But what's his scouting like? It's not half bad. He obviously has the market up for cartography. Knows the location of Tuyo down here, more or less. And JSP with a galley out with superior army over the enemies here for now. Let's see D-Boy here with some naval presence as well, with very little scouting on water. Has 4 fire galleys out though, and is being flared by the enemy. There's some yeah, fishing eco still pretty much intact for German potatoes here, so they are definitely taking this villager lead, going to go into a much stronger castle age as well. Tuyo for sure will be going fast castle here with Vikings as well, and then could bring longboats on the menu to contest water as needed. Here's the market going up for the Malians, so Dom should be looking at the castle age click in just a moment as well. He's walling off to limit any enemy aggression here. Phoenix 40% cast edge. His TC works a bit faster as well, so he's going to have a good lead over Mycel going up as this increases. We see some flares on the sides here. may or may not have found the enemy locations now. Let's see what Phoenix has scouted here on the shoreline. Okay, one fire galley might go down to JCP Kill's galleys here actually. So that's suboptimal for the Ray player here. Also, the reinforcements are generally very far away in terms of water control here. JCP Kill with 13 military already, and betting all of that is on water for the time being. 13 warships for JCP Kill, so he, as the Japanese, is going to try and claim water here for Druzhina. There's the cast stage for Phoenix. Defensive castle already up for hunting X. And going to get to those conquistadors, of course. Hunting and Meisel, no army whatsoever, whereas the German potatoes have some army presence on water, going to challenge JCP Kill over here. Malian fire galleys doing good work here to take out some of the galleys of JCP Kill. Fire galleys on the alert here as well. They're sort of making a choke point here to stop the galleys from engaging, and this should be Phoenix's fight to win unless JCP Kill pulls some serious hit and run micro here. Well, it is fire ships against Feudal Age galleys here, so that could be an issue for JCP Kill. He's also far away from the Castle Age here, so if he loses water and loses his fish boom, that could be very significant here for the Japanese player. But we'll need more army here overall for Phoenix anyway. Phoenix backs off, waits maybe for some Vikings assistance in longboats or war galleys here. And admittedly, with a Spanish player on the opposing team, Tuyo might be running into some trouble here as well, with a potential of a Spanish castle drop at some point on this very cramped little starting spot here. Lots of Malian fireships on the other side here as well, though. They're going to take care of Meisel's fish eco, no problem. Meisel is extending on land to 2 TCs and going to catch up in village counts here. Actually, Druzhina are about to catch up in village counts here and might even take the lead soon. Water being of essence here though, it's a lot more military on water for German potatoes, and not at all sure that JCP Kill can hold this on his own with his Feudal Age galleys. He is getting close to that Castle Age click though, but losing numbers rapidly here against the Persian fireships. What I'd actually like to see Tuyo doing here now is he seems to be going for a land aggression, which is fine. But if you drop a dock down here and get some sort of flanking in on JCP Kill, you could attack from both sides and take out JCP's water presence even more easily. Cast stage on the way now, so German potatoes really have to take a fight soon. These fire galleys are on the way, but 4 of them are weak as well. So if with the proper galley micro from JCP, we could still see quite a few fire ships down. This might be hunting X flaring that there are lots of fire ships over here. There's a monk somewhere trying for some conversions. Where was that? That has to be Meisel. Maybe not. Yeah, Doc definitely going down for Hunting X. That's going to impair his fish equator, and Hunting X only with 2 farms on land. So let's look at Hunting X's food eco here. I'm guessing it's probably pretty crippled here. 9 on food, but he's lost his dock. And he has only this 1 TC, so he must be taking some hunters. Yeah, extending some farms over here, but that's going to take some while before that kicks in. And that's going to impair the potential for conquistador productions as well. 12 fire galleys just marching ahead here now. We have some fire galleys from Phoenix on this side as well, taking out the barrack, the blacksmith of JCP Kill here. That means that his galleys will not be getting bodkin arrows straight away in the Castle Age here. TC about to go down to mangonels from Phoenix here as well, and this TC desperately needs to stay up for the JCP Kill, and it will. So Castle Age kicks in Good work there to keep that one up. Spears are at the ready as well to deal with the Persian knights forward here. We have some conquistadors running around for Hunting X in the middle here, so he has some numbers after all. But he's only with 40 villagers and his food eco is struggling. And Druzhina also are about to lose water completely, which makes for Japanese not being able to use their strengths on water in the faster working fishing ships. There are 18 galleys here though, and well, not 18, but quite a bit of presence on water here from this kill. Going to take out one Viking dock here, but with some reaction from Phoenix here, if he just runs in close, could still be looking at a good fight here with fire ships from both sides from German potatoes. Here we go with the conquistadors, causing some idle time on land, of course, on Phoenix here, so that's a welcome distraction for Team Druzhina there. I think it's still only one castle for Hunting X though, and food eco is completely housed, has extended the farms now, so once the farm eco kicks in, he could keep making more conquistadors if that's the play. He has a stable up as well, but I think that's mainly for the conquistador upgrades. Meisel, on the other hand, he is getting a free boom on his side. He lost the fish, obviously, but is going into the war wagons here, and is going to try and challenge Dom in the north here. I think, however, Dom with the Malians, with his cavalry, also having the free boom up in the north here, is in a good spot to continue this game. Phoenix seems to be taking some hits though. He's only with 5 military, and he is having his thesis idle quite a lot. Here comes another castle from the Spanish player. And but water is lost, and that's still a big deal. Still a big deal. Will Druz meme too hard and lose? I feel like they haven't even been memeing, they have just been picking weaker Sibs overall here. So if you're up against both Malians and Persians on Nomad, you're in deep shit anyway when you're losing your only water advantage as Japanese with a faster fish boom as well. Granted, Meisel's population is highest of all here. He has almost 100 villagers, so we could see a heavy Meisel carry in this game, considering he's dropping more castles and assuming control on this side of the map. But the general stone and gold income is going to run out for Meisel at some point, more quickly than it will for D-Boy in the north here with all these places to expand to. I mean, the whole middle map has so much golds and stones for the German potatoes to try and contest, even though Hunting X is taking more map presence with castles here. Hunting so strong with FC Kongs on Nomad. He taught me that to beat Ghetto in our show match. Ah, okay. Yeah, we have 14 conquistadors here and 2 castles, and with the farm eco now extended for Hunting X, he is in a better spot to keep producing out of both castles. Incredibly enough, he's also on the way to the Imperial Age here, and even without water control, Druzhina seems to be salvaging the situation here to some extent. We have Tuyo on the way to the Imperial Age though, so that's going to be of significance as well. Phoenix will need to react here ASAP, otherwise he'll be losing villagers on gold. There we go. Good reaction, taking some hits in on the conks. It is idle time for Phoenix, and he's only with 50 villagers, but Hunting X with even fewer and going to imp. So if Hunting X loses army numbers now, which he probably won't, he's salvaging them inside his castles, he would still be in a rough spot eco-wise. I feel like it's a booming contest between Meisel and D-Boy here now, and Meisel is currently winning. He's dropping barracks and range here, and more barracks for pikes. Maybe wants to go for a pike siege push on the Malians here. Could be. His war wagons will be less efficient against Malians infantry because of their extra pierce armor. So that's something to keep in mind as well. JCP Kill is very far behind though. He's extending his economy, but it's also only on 45 villagers, so overall villager count not that dissimilar between the teams. You could argue that German potatoes over-invested into water, but at least they're holding it now, no problem, and hitting what they can with all of these ridiculous numbers of Malian fire ships. It's almost 20 fire ships here for Malians. Right, so let's have a look at Meisel's scouting here. He has cartography, he knows what's going on Hunting X, and this field side. They're walling off a bit to limit Knight's raids here, whereas Hunting X is going to move forward and try and deal some damage on the green player D-Boy now. Here comes the University Monastery though, so I think D-Boy has plans to click up as soon as he can as well. War Wagons on this side and a forward castle from Mysel, denying 1 gold and some precious wood here. And let's see if the military on land from Dom can contest this. He has quite a decent chunk of camels and ice here. I think he could take a good fight against the War Wagons here. Knights running in. Let's see how they do against the War Wagons. Another castle from Mysel. Oh boy. 2 castles at the same time. Mysel is not messing around here. He really wants to deal that significant damage. Dom sends the camels in, but there are some pikes in the mix here. Mysel has such an annoying playstyle. Always going for some kind of pike and siege and monks in the mix. And no, surprisingly enough, no monks forward for Mysel right now. But a forward siege workshop, forward guard tower, forward castles. And 2 more castles to reinforce the War Wagons production as well. Yeah, I guess League of Empires is not a new league anymore, since it's in season 2, but we'll keep that as is anyway. Mysel with a very strong push in the north here now is going to push at least 1 TC of D-Boy now. That's going to be completely idle due to the castle. Let's see how the Persian is doing. He's expanding to the left side here. Viking has a dock here with some fish boom over here as well. But I feel like they need to hit Mysel now with something more than just what they did to take him off water. Why doesn't community games work? That was a bit annoying. It should be... Let me try. I think Nightbot is sick. Apparently it doesn't work. But I'm going to try and start a new community game tradition called Community Game Sundays. And frequent community games on Sundays. All players welcome no matter the level. And I'll be either casting or playing myself depending on the turnout of who's showing up and everything. So I'm hoping that's going to be a good one for the community to benefit from. And one way for me to give back a little bit. We see Mysel and D-Boy both going up to the Imperial Age roughly at the same time, and roughly at the same pop as well, at least in terms of villagers. We have a push from the Vikings player now, Arbs in masses here. That means that the Conquistadors won't really survive this, and Trebs pushing down Hunting X's castles as well. Hunting X will need to make a switch ASAP, and it doesn't look good for his Conquistadors production. He's going into Trebs of his own, but is already at the verge of losing the Treb Wars here. Get Nightbot a beer, will fix all elements. Yeah, indeed. I mean, I feel like the Arbalests with their 5+3 range, superior range, would deal very nicely with the Kongs, but with the War Wagons could be tougher. They have very high Pierce armor, so Arbalests would struggle taking them out easily, and these deal nicely with huge masses. So War Wagon push in the north, D-Boy losing 1 TC, losing villagers as well, obviously. Mysel, I'd love to see some cannon galleons from Malins here now, if they even get them. Let me just double check. Because, oh, where is that dock? Come on. I give up. There we go. Yeah, get cannon galleon at least. That could be a way to take out production on land from Mysel, since German potatoes are indeed dominating water. Are the War Wagons elite? I don't think so. Mysel just reached Imperial Age, but it seems to be on the way. But see how the mass Arbalests still are struggling against Castle Age War Wagon series. Pretty huge. I believe they have the last armor upgrade and very significant mass here, but Conquistadors chasing as well, forcing Tuyo off the hill here. He's going to try and drop the castle here, but that could be denied if the Arbalests keep luring the enemy units down here. Trebs forward are going down for Tuyo here. Has been putting up a good fight though, has taken out both of Hunting X's castle. Hunting X will have to go into a stable switch now for paladins or whatnot. Hunting X also with only 55 population, so villager population very, very different for the two teams here. I'd love to see some Malians cavalry to help out against these war wagons, but with the choke point here for the Oblast, still doing alright. It's elite war wagons now though, and you see the priest armor here is taking a lot of shots, but Maisel needs castles to replenish his numbers, whereas Tuyo only needs ranges and is dropping more at that. He's even bringing in skirms against these elite skirms against the war wagons. Halbs in the north here now, but mass camels of D-Boy as well will of course die to halves here. And sorry if the colors are a bit too similar, but that's just the way it is around here. D-Boy needs a switch, might need some barracks with some Malians longswords, which he's doing already. Good choice. Maisel with 61 military, Dom with almost 60 as well. And Tuyo with 69 down here, holding nicely against the war wagons, will fight off these armies. Arbs taken out from the castle, they were probably healing a little bit inside there, and now we have some surprise masses here. Tuyo with 70 military here. And yeah, fire ships just on the water, not really doing enough here. We could still take out a little bit of capabilities on land, but probably that blacksmith isn't needed anymore anyway. I think German potatoes could consider starting trade on water now, because gold will eventually be an issue. They're not struggling yet, but just to think about that transition, because since they're controlling water, they'll have such an easier time to get trade going. We have a little bit of a half siege push here from JSP Kill, also in the Imperial Age, and with half production going for the Men-at-Arms line as well, Swordsman line. But half numbers are still lacking here against the boys' numbers, and Cavalier is on the way as well. So we'll be seeing the army numbers growing increasingly strong for D-Boy here. Losing lots of villagers though, is down to 80 villagers. Has to deal with the Treb here, which his longswords will do. But admittedly, with the Japanese faster attacking infantry, if JCB Kill can get to champions here himself, he will dominate against the Malians. Where are the repairs on this TC though? That's a bit unlucky there. Seems to have a strong push with Arvalists and Trebs here from Tuyo though. And yeah, a stable switch on the way for Hunting X here, but what's his eco like is now with 60 villagers. It's really not enough to sustain, for example, a Paladin or even Cavalier switch here. He needs to preserve his conch numbers and maybe try and get some raids in. But looking at the overall population and overall military here, it's looking very good for German potatoes here. Yeah, Cavalier switch is indeed in for Hunting X here, so he's going to snipe a Treb here now, also take out enemy skirms. Mangonel firing from Maisel as well. Koreans have great siege. Tuyo taking losses unnecessarily here now, unfortunately, and quite a few of the conchs still alive. Will never make it to elite because there's still no castle for Hunting X. Both went down earlier. Villager numbers higher for German potatoes overall here, but now military numbers are dominating for myself, and that could certainly lead the game towards Druzhinas in the end after all. Camels should be doing okay against war wagons. I think Cavalier would be better though, given that they Cavalier have higher Pierce armor. You still need to deal with the halves as well, so you need to send the swordsman first and then the cavalry after. Some Cavalier raids in the middle here now, taking a hit on Phoenix. He has pretty exposed economy here now, and no army nearby to deal with this. Actually, 30 military total for Phoenix, and some fire ships hitting over on this side, but overall, yeah, he's multiple places here, but will not have an easy time defending against Cavalier raiding his eco over here. Sensing Cavaliers of his own though. Persian Cavaliers, roughly same upgrades. But Hunting X actually has the... yeah, they both have the last armor as well, only missing the last attack now. Maisel with the hard carry here so far though. Massive score lead over the other players. A bit of a run in here, but the D-Boy will be losing now against both Korean hubs and Malian, well, Korean hubs and Japanese two-handed swordsmen here. I mean, try a landing or something here from D-Boy or from the others. Just get some mobile units over here and try and punish Meisel's eco a little bit, because Meisel has full control over his own little area over here. And so with his eco untouched, he can just keep adding villagers and booming and support his mass units everywhere. I think these cavaliers are enough to deal with these war wagons and more importantly deal with the treb as well. But Phoenix, of course, needs to send in all of them. I think these were just on stand ground or something, running into attack here and getting some trades here. But really, just make use of that army. Some stables over here. That's perfect from Phoenix. Going to get some raids in here on Meisel. He's producing light cav. That likely over here going to stack up on some units to hit. Yep. Sending in one at a time though, maybe not ideal. Stack them up on a few more and split the map for maximum damage potential here. Meisel's eco admittedly quite exposed though, with a couple of castles to protect them. Meanwhile, JSP Kill and Hunting X are, or Meisel, I mean, JSP Kill and Meisel are gaining ground up here. Koreans long swordsmen here now, together with the Japanese infantry, and seem to be doing okay against D-Boy here. Tuyo, however, is almost pop-capped, and he is, with a couple of castles here, could add some burst circers for raiding potential, possibly. Some Kongs still alive, and Hunting X has somehow made it to Paladin here. Lots of Paladins, in fact. So it seems that like Druzhina has stabilized over here, lots of farms and DC's eco here not being contested at this time. And again the treb pushing here, and see the yellow of D-Boy here in smaller numbers total. He's losing most of his eco now. Looking at the overall here, 49 villagers now. D-Boy is as good as dead here actually. Now only has presence and water, and Meisel is now dropping a castle somewhat at home here to limit these light cap rates and maybe even take out the fire galleys. So there we go, there is the GG. So the German Potatoes had a great momentum for a while, but leaving Meisel alone over at this side, even taking him off fish early was not enough. It is Meisel's hard carry that saved this game and got JSP Kill and Hunting X back into the game here. And in the end, it's Druzhina's game overall, with the underdog Sibs, mind you. Only Japanese as the really strong naval Sib here. But GG indeed, you don't mess around with Mr. Meisel here. Rui is, by the way, the lowest rated player of these three on his team. Yeah, I'm a bit surprised they brought that back as well, but looking at Meisel's KD here and the war wagon choice, then into halves, and whatever it did was a very good one. Raised a lot of buildings with his treb pushing as well, and assuming more and more map control as the game went on. 430 to 298 KD for Meisel, pretty strong indeed. And yeah, Meisel OP, please nerf. Exactly. We see some sling here though, Meisel slinging his teammates as well to get back into it. Somehow Hunting X got to Paladin, that could be due to the sling here. Fast cast Age Conquistador certainly did some damage, but also that early imp for Hunting X took its toll on his army and economy, with Tuyo reaching in first with his Arbalest masses. Meisel always plays monks as well, so he picked a lot of relics, lots of extra gold there from Meisel. Solid team play from Meisel and solid positioning across the map as the game went on.